My name's Elizabeth, and I have something called Tuberous Sclerosis Complex. What is Tuberous Sclerosis Complex? Tuberous Sclerosis Complex, or TS, is a condition that affects the individual by having benign tumors in the major organs of the body. So, when I was 2 in 1999, it was a rare condition. It's still very rare today. So, think about how me being diagnosed was a difficulty. So, my parents did amazing. I went to all the doctors, I went for MRIs, I went for CT scans, I did it all, the whole shebang. And they found that I had a quite large tumor inside my brain that needed to be monitored. I had tumors in my kidneys, inside my heart, and of course, I had tumors on my face. The skin is an organ of the brain. So I had something called angiofibromas, and those are on my face still to this day. And I take a medication so that they stay at a smaller size and that they can be monitored and they don't affect me on a daily basis. Or really, I feel like at all. um, I am monitored by 14 doctors, and I feel like it's a part-time job, but I'm proud of myself, so, you know. um, so, co-occurring conditions with tuberous sclerosis are epilepsy, autism spectrum disorder, and executive functioning disorder. I have tuberous sclerosis, epilepsy, and executive functioning disorder. So, executive functioning disorder is understanding the world around you comes a little bit differently. Analyzing, time management, all the things you really need to bake a cake or to manage just like a calendar, those are very difficult things for an individual with executive functioning to do. School was very difficult for me as they started to notice I had executive dysfunction, and social nuances needed to be learned. So I went to therapy and I learned those things like making eye contact and understanding specific jokes. Dark humor is also still very hard for me to understand, but I love dad jokes. I mean, I get it. People thought I had autism spectrum disorder, but of course it's a co-occurring condition with tuberous sclerosis, and it's not known how the spectrum affects everybody differently with tuberous sclerosis, but I know I don't have autism spectrum disorder, and I have more of the difficulty with just understanding and working on a day-to-day basis with daily living in just specific tiny little aspects, like, I don't know, thawing out shrimp. I didn't know that. But that's everybody. Everybody doesn't know something. And so, learning as we go, it might just be a little bit slower for somebody with executive dysfunction or executive functioning disorder. And, being patient and understanding that somebody might be misdiagnosed and executive functioning disorder is underdiagnosed and it is misdiagnosed as well. And so, people might be walking around the world right now and feeling like they might be dumb or whatever, and they actually just haven't been diagnosed, and they can really understand or possibly go to cognitive behavioral therapy, and it'll be like so great for them. Anyways, with tuberous sclerosis, my parents were amazing. They told me what I had. When I was in elementary school, I stood up as a choice of my own in front of my class, and I told them that I'm a little bit different. I'm unique. I might have to go to the doctor sometimes, and I take a medication. And that's when I started to have seizures, and I said to them that I also might have to go to the nurse sometimes, and I might just not show up again back at the classroom. My teacher also was able to communicate to them in a way that they understood. My mom also sent them a note to help explain who I am, some differences that they might see, and some supports that I just might need. And I had an individualized education plan, or an IEP, to help with my education as I went throughout the school system and the elementary, secondary school system. I have gone to college. I have gone to my master's program. All of it has never been easy, but it has been possible. And everybody has struggles, and everybody has their own thing going on. But for me, it's tuberous sclerosis, epilepsy, executive dysfunction, and I mean, who couldn't have anxiety with this condition? But it doesn't really affect me, to be honest with you. And the thing that I love to do is educate other individuals, because tuberous sclerosis is so broad and it really affects everybody differently. Somebody might have a brain tumor, somebody might not. And somebody also might have tons of seizures and might have difficulty getting a job, while I have seizures that are monitored and that are controlled, and I can drive. I have my own car. So it really depends per the person, and tuberous sclerosis is quite complex and rare, as well as misunderstood and understudied. So research is very important, and I want to be an advocate for that. So that's just my story, some of it and stuff. So that's just something I wanted to share as a little starter.